Hello everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I am making baguettes, which is actually very easy, unlike what most would think when they hear baguette. I stumbled upon the recipe on YouTube. I will link it in the description box, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at just how good they are. Let's get started. Okay, a quick word before we get started. I know some people are very resistant to the metric system. This was a very cheap scale. Oh, I bought it so many years ago that I can't even remember where I bought it. It could have been Amazon. It could have been Bed Bath Beyond. While I haven't been baking bread for a long time, I have been baking for many, many years, and I weigh in grams for most of my baking needs, from my pie crusts to my cookies. So you just get a much more accurate, narrowed down measurement, which in baking is oftentimes critical. So let's get started. 700 grams of bread flour. I am opening my new yeast. You can hear that air coming out. It is a half a teaspoon of yeast, in the recipe where you see I link it, he uses instant, but again, I haven't had issues. So I'm going to finish up this bag, and then we'll move on to the instant yeast that I bought. And you're just going to get that combined into your dough, into your flour. And it's 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. I think in his recipe he says if you use table, I think it becomes 1 teaspoon. But I'm not 100% sure, but once again, it's linked. I'll link it in the description. Get that mixed around. And now for the most complicated part of the recipe. 520 grams of cool water. And I just used tap water. I didn't use filtered. Alrighty. You want to get that nice and combined. It's better to either use a wooden spoon upside down or a nice sturdy spatula. A whisk just won't cut it. And I want to make sure you get in there nice and close to see. And I kid you not, this is really the toughest part of the entire recipe. I like to use the spatula because I give a good scraping. I want to make sure I get all the bits. But there is no dry flour left. And it's actually quite warm by me today. It's 81. And so this, I'm just going to put plastic wrap and put it in my pantry, and I know it'll rise just fine. Making my baguettes for tomorrow, Holy Thursday, because we have a very simple dinner of bread and olive oil, cheeses, olives. We've been doing that for years now. Truly, I promise, this is the hardest part. Yeah, you got a good view. It is a very sticky, shaggy, unmanageable at this point. But that's okay. Now, you're going to cover this. I'm going to get plastic wrap now. And it will rest for 45 minutes. And in 45 minutes, we'll come back and I will show you what we do next. See you in a minute. Alrighty, friends, on my very clean counter, we are going to dump this bread. You do not add any flour at all. Let me get my rings off real quick. I'm actually just going to wet. I have my little measuring cup of water. Scrape it. Now with just that 45 minutes of, open up a little, of resting time, you can see a little bit of a difference. So I wet my hands, and you're going to just allow the counter to do the work for you. And you're going to pull it and fold it. Pull it, fold it. And you maneuver your dough. You want to give it a good stretch. And this is where all the flavor and body is going to start developing. And then you roll it back up. Bring your bowl back over, place it in, and you cover it and let it rest for another 45 minutes. That's going to be done for a total of 4 times. This was number 2. And we'll come back in 45 minutes. But for you guys, it'll be a minute. Here we are, back for stretch and fold number 3. And let me see if I could get you just to see how it's starting to lose its that very rough look. Okay. Dump it out again. Oh, let me get my rings off. I'm not a fan of dough in my rings. Pull it and just fold it over. This isn't adding any flour to it. It's just letting the water take away the stickiness. That makes number 4. So we'll let this rest, get covered again, and I'll come back and show you what the next step is. Now we're ready for the next part of the bread making. You're going to need to cut this into 4 and about 310 grams each piece.
Were you off today?
Doesn't have to be exact.
Oh. Yeah, too darn dead. She took the tripod out the other day.
Okay.
Hey, what did we film? And she went, oh, I was taping. It's more of all my pants down.
Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be right on the money. That's all right. And these are actually a little less than 310, but that's all right. Let me make sure you're, yes. So you're going to form them. I will show you how easy that is, because it's going to rest again for 15 minutes. You're just going to make just a little round log. Just fold it like that, almost like you're rolling a burrito. Just put it there. And one more. And then this is going to, like I said, rest for 15 minutes. I'm going to cover it with a lightly oiled piece of plastic wrap. Let me just get some of this off of my hands. Okay, let me get the oiled wrap, and then I'm going to show you something else. I just hit it with a little bit of my spray. And on it goes to rest for 15. Alexa, timer for 15 minutes. And you just let it
15 minutes.
rest covered. And I'm going to show you my baker's couche that my hubby got me for Christmas. It's floured and ready to get the baguettes once they're formed, and they will rest again while the oven heats up. So while we're waiting for that 15 minutes, I will come back and we'll get ready to form the baguettes. Now we're going to shape the baguette and put it on the couche. Now, if you don't have a couche, you don't have to worry about that. You can use a pillowcase. You spread it out, you pop any air bubbles that might be in there. Press down. And roll. What's that? Yeah.
Shut up!
And that's all of it.
Did it take long what? No, I wanted it so.
That's it on the couche. I'll do the rest and show you how the couche holds it. Is he outside? Roll it. And onto the couche it goes. I'm going to finish these up and then I'll come back with it when it's done. This is what the baguettes look like in the couche. And you cover them with a tea towel. And let them rest for 20 minutes. And then additional 12 while the oven heats. We'll come back when we're ready to get them in the oven, which they'll go on this pan. Okay, so now we're going to take the towel off. And I sprayed this lightly.
Okay.
This is my makeshift paddle, whatever you want to call it, because I wasn't going to start spending a ton of money, but I just roll it onto my pan. After this, I'll take my Kosher and just sprinkle water flour, shake it off in the yard. The last thing. Now I'm going to show you. I have my fan going. It's going to use warm oven. I'm going to make sure you're in camera. Give me a second yet. I'm just using my sharp knife for this. You spray it with some butter. It just makes cutting into it a bit easier. And you just cut your slices so that it has a place to escape and you don't have, they call it a blowout.
Yeah.
And the last one. And then I'm going to try to do this with one hand after I put this into the oven. Maybe I could get you a little bit in a better place so that you can see what comes next. Yeah, I'll do that. This way we're not worrying about burning. Okay. I have my pan there. It's hot. The oven has preheated. Alexa, stop. Preheated at 400. This will go in. I'm putting it at the bottom. Now hot water goes into that pan to make the steam. You close it up. Give it 10 minutes. And then I'll turn it and we'll come back and see how they are. You're going to turn the baguettes. They've been cooking for 10 minutes. Switch that to the top. I am going to add a little bit of water for steam, and I'm going to let them go for another 5 minutes. I'm also going to spray this side. Alexa, timer for 5 minutes. The next time we come back, we'll be taking them out of the oven. We're going to take them out. And I will let them cool on the rack. Beautiful breads. Thanks for watching, and I'll have all the information in the description box. See you again soon.